Hey guys, today I'll be doing my thoughts on Homecoming PTR. So first let's start with positive things. The first thing that is different is that they added the provision system where each card costs certain number of provision points. I really like that mechanic because it adds a little bit of depth to Gwent deck building, and it's also easier to balance around as opposed to gold, silver, bronze system, where you'd never take some cards because they are just worse than others. So you'd maybe also add some other cards which you wouldn't normally add here, because you'll be limited with provisions. I think that it's actually a good thing, because true, you will be a bit limited, but it's way better than some cards being auto-include because they are way better than the others. And it also makes some cards able to keep its ability for just a bit higher or lower provision cost. It's true that cards are not yet balanced, especially neutrals like Silver Witchers, which either need to lose 1 point on each or make higher provision cost for them. Also, Phoenix is way too strong for its provision cost as well. The only thing bad about provisions is that maybe more people will just copy decks because deck builder is way more complicated because of that. I also think they might have to change how many provisions you have available, because I think currently you maybe have too many golds in the deck as opposed to the number of bronzes. I also really like how there are way more engines in this Homecoming, because in Gwent there has always been a complaint about maybe too much of dropping value on the board in the current Gwent, so having more engines makes the game more fun and interesting. Of course, I think there are maybe too many order cards currently in Homecoming, especially in Northern Realms, and maybe not enough supports for them. Engines might be a bit too weak, especially in Northern Realms, because they are really low value and they can be removed very easily. I would also like to see the return of the armor, which I don't know why they removed from Gwent, because this was a great way to make maybe some engines survive a little bit better. I think that maybe adding armor to cards would fix Northern Realm machines being really weak, which would make machines more viable. I like the card designs though. As for the board design, I think the game looks pretty good visually. Maybe it's a bit too dark, but I think it looks cool. The problem is that Gwent is all about traveling from tavern to tavern, collecting cards, and that atmosphere is kinda gone now. But I think they can easily fix this by giving us an option to choose between tavern style and this new style. Maybe they might add that in the future. I also like the models of leaders combined with the board. It looks really cool, like Battlefield, which is what they were trying to achieve. It's true that it's not tavern style anymore, but if they were going for a Battlefield style, they did a pretty good job. Also, Homecoming has a lot of bugs and glitches, for example weird white card on the board, and also some cards not working properly. Leaders also echo sometimes, and a weird voice can randomly start playing.
If it's peace you desire, prepare for war.
But they probably will be fixed until Homecoming launches, at least I hope they will. Now to the biggest complaint with Homecoming, which is card limit is 10 and drawing 3 cards every round. This was probably made to fix a coin flip, which definitely was not balanced, but now the card advantage thing was removed. Well, it still exists, but it's so hard to gain card advantage now, and because of the card limit the opponent might just start dropping cards on the board to cycle them, which could be good, but it extends the game for no reason and removes card advantage. The only way to get card advantage now is to either push the opponent until he has 4 cards, which is not that easy because he can pass every time, or you need to push the second round, which I think is almost never worth it. And drawing 3 cards extends the game in a way that long round decks have an advantage over the short ones. I think that this card limit idea is okay, but the number of cards drawn would have to change. I feel like maybe drawing 2 and 2 or 3 and 1 would be good. I think 3 and 1 would be the best probably. They can maybe add more mulligans to every leader instead of drawing more cards for consistency, and I also think that some leaders don't have enough mulligans, especially the ones that have maybe 2 mulligans and 1 mulligan. I think they should have more. Every leader should have more. And also one more thing that I think it's really easy to fix, but it's almost a must. And that thing is that cards that have exclusive abilities should have some kind of sign on the card where the abilities can trigger. Those signs could be similar to something they had in Witcher 3 or in Gwent until every card was agile. And final thing they have to fix, they definitely need to speed up the game because now it feels really slow. A bit too slow. So those are my thoughts on Homecoming PTR. Tell me in the comments what you guys think of Homecoming PTR, and I'll see you guys with another deck.